Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, it's my man who loves to live in a brave new world. It's Frank. How are you today?
Since when are they red?
I don't know. What you need, my friend, is Tide. Yeah. You're new to this, aren't you?
Apparently.
Yeah.
How's it going, bud?
It's going well, Frank. It's going well. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. It's good to see you. Good to be talking about a new movie.
A new movie. I love talking about new movies, especially when I can see the new movie. That's
the best.
It's the best. I took seeing movies for granted before I became a parent.
No kidding.
Wow. I could just watch a movie whenever I really wanted.
Pretty much.
It was wild. Or go even, never mind watch at home.
Yeah, right.
It's actually easier to go to the movie.
Go see one, yeah.
There. But anyway, you and I both saw Captain America, Brave New World, and boy, it was a movie. But before we talk about that, let's talk about what we're drinking on Beer with Geeks. Because it's hip, it's happening now.
It's happening.
Frank,
It's happening.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking my favorite beer, a Chimay Grand Reserve, the Chimay Blue. It is a fantastic Trappist Abbey ale. I had the thought today, and it was too late for me to go buy beer, but I was like, oh, if only I had a red ale or something red in my fridge. But alas, I do not. So we will go with the Chimay Blue because that was what I had and what I felt like enjoying today. So
they're blue now.
Go. Yeah, they're blue now. Nice. So yeah, that is me. What are you enjoying, my friend?
I am enjoying something from the Burlington Beer Company. I am enjoying this is totally off-brand for me, a Little Wizard off-brand IPA.
Yes. Yeah. It starts on brand and goes off brand pretty quick.
It goes off real fast. Burlington, good. On brand Vermont. Tim likes Vermont. Good. Little Wizard. Tim loves wizards. Yep. Excellent. Off brand IPA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's good.
Is
actually. It's not super dry. I always love describing drinks as dry.
Yes.
Because I'm putting this wet thing in my mouth.
It's a dry liquid.
A dry wet thing. No, I don't. I don't find it particularly hoppy.
Okay.
It's a little on the softer side.
I see.
Hoppiness.
Oh,
And so,
all right.
but I like it. I like it quite a bit.
Nice.
So I would have it again. If the opportunity arose and they were like, "Oh, do you want this lager?
Yeah.
Or this Little Wizard IPA?" I might actually choose the Little Wizard IPA.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. That's a big endorsement.
Listen, I don't know if I could give you a bigger endorsement for a beer than I would choose it over a Pilsner or a lager.
Yeah, over a lighter beer.
Stout.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
the phrase "little wizard" just always makes me think of the Ron Swanson quote where someone talks about Star Wars and he goes, "Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?"
It's not with the little, but it always makes me go, "That's so wizard, Annie."
Oh, yeah.
I just can't get that out of my head.
Totally. Yes.
It's so little wizard, Annie. You're sure to do it this time.
Kitster would.
What's that? Make a good Captain America movie.
Oh,
nailed it. Yeah. All right.
Did they?
I mean, it was a movie I saw.
Yeah.
That's the most ringing endorsement I can give this movie. Like, as in total, there are parts about it that I really liked, and there are parts about it that were things that I saw with my eyes, and heard them with my ears.
Mm-hmm.
Thus ends the sensory experience of going to this movie, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It wasn't Eternals. It wasn't bad. I
didn't find Eternals bad. I thought it was also a movie that I saw.
Right.
But I was less invested in that, I think, though I think it's better made than this movie. The Brave New World felt stitched together. Particularly in a few pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, before I can't talk about it without talking about spoilers.
So
really just dive into it.
Let's do it.
It's definitely bottom of the barrel MCU for the non-spoiler people out there.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. There are things. I think I liked it more than Iron Man 3. If that is any indication. I think Iron Man 3 is also technically a better movie.
Yeah,
this
I
one
do.
Didn't anger me in the way that Iron Man 3 did. So there's that. Let's talk about it with spoilers. I also think, full disclosure, I think that we should talk about how we're like 2 steps removed from the director. Though technically we're 2 steps removed from a few directors, but if you don't remember,
if you
don't remember this. So the director, Julius Ona.
Yes.
Ona, this is very Dark Helmet. This is very Spaceballs Dark Helmet.
Okay, great.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Julius Ona is the former roommate
of
our friend Dan's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
our
tracking.
Friend Dan, who's been on the show.
Yes.
Hey, Dan. Dan's brother and Julius were roommates in college.
Okay.
Dan's brother Jonathan went off to work for Weta, and Julius became a director. And so we're like,
that's
very
so cool. I didn't realize we were that
related.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, truthfully, I was like trying to champion this movie in my head, because I don't know him. I don't know Julius, but I kind of know him.
The 2 degrees make you want to want to succeed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted to succeed for him.
Right.
And it's a movie that I saw.
Yeah. It's
which in some ways is also how I felt about the other movie I watched of his, which was Cloverfield Paradox, which is also a movie
which I never did see. I never did see Cloverfield Paradox.
It's a movie that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair to that one, it came off the back of Cloverfield Lane, which was excellent. One of the best movies I had seen that year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a tough act to follow.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Cloverfield movies, but it says Captain America: Brave New World. It's really Thunderbolt Ross's movie.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I mean,
story, theme, big action moments. All of it really.
It's a Harrison Ford movie. It's a Harrison Ford movie.
Which is truthfully kind of the thing that saves the movie, though.
Yes.
So I don't actually disagree with that as a direction.
No.
Because that was what was the most interesting thing about it.
Yeah. Yes. It sucks. It sucks. For. I don't have
Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson.
Anthony, thank you. For Anthony Mackie.
I agree.
To finally have a Captain America movie where he is the title character, and it's not really his movie.
It's not.
Sucks for him. That's. I'd be disappointed. I'd be bummed. But as a viewer, I think it was a better movie because it was so focused on Thunderbolt Ross as opposed to, which I feel bad saying, but I don't know that the Sam Wilson we have in this universe can carry a movie.
The movie spends a lot of time telling us that he can, instead of
telling us.
It tells us that he can, and I just don't. Well, that's okay. So I think I just gotta lay it all out there. It says that he is Captain America, right? It says it over and over and over and over.
Which, no argument here.
No argument here. Fine that he's Captain America. But the movie is preoccupied early in that he's not a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
He's a regular dude. And early on, it wants us like he gets hurt. His rib gets hurt, and he gets beat up by whose name escapes me. I will use the oh my gosh, what is his name? Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly.
Oh yes.
The Captain America from the 50s, in the Korean War, and like so, it wants to say like he's just a regular dude, like that can do this.
Yes.
And by the end of the movie, he's just a quote unquote regular dude that's fighting a Hulk and winning. But even Steve Rogers couldn't fight a Hulk and win.
Yeah.
Even if he was badly beaten and everything, like Steve barely held his own against Ultron, never mind going up against a Hulk. I mean, Thor barely could fight the Hulk.
Right.
So I just, it said it a lot, and then it wanted to show us, but then it dropped some of the stuff it was doing, like Sam being injured.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just like and the rib's fine now. It's fine. He
apparently,
can fight yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
It was a little hand wavy about those things, and it was a little convenient. Sam's like, okay, he's such a compelling, down to earth kind of guy that he can motivate anyone, right? Like it is almost and even when I was theoretically shown it, I didn't believe it.
I agree. I just didn't believe it the entire time. And what's worse, what is worse is that I believed it in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I kind of even believed it in Falcon and
the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Agreed.
But I didn't believe it in Captain America: Brave New World. So I was like, where was that Sam Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
That like this Sam Wilson that is carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like, again, it's a lot of like, you want me to feel this way about this character. I understand you want me to feel this way, and I just don't. Part of that is some of the reshoots. I can just feel Anthony Mackie into it and not into it, like depending on the scene.
So I could see like there were towards the end of the film, there were some effect shots of Sam talking to Ross, like doing his like speech to Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, visually, I was like, that's a reshoot. Like I could spot it because it looked different. It looked like he was in front of the volume of the green screen or whatever it was. The lighting looked different.
There was one shot that was so poorly green screened that I think I actually gasped out loud.
Oh no!
Like it looked like a movie from the 50s.
Oh boy!
And it was like inside the speech to calm the Hulk down, Red Hulk.
Okay,
down.
I think we're talking about the same moment. Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa!" Like what? Like that's the best you could do together, all of you, really? Like, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to make a movie. It's a miracle that every movie gets
exactly.
made.
Yes,
that before, but that was tough.
It was rough,
and it's just a shame that it kind of turned out that way.
Let me ask you this: do you think that the amount of time that's elapsed since we last spent any real time with Sam and with all these characters, really, do you think that if this had been a faster follow up, that we might feel differently? Like there might still be some ongoing momentum, from that feeling that we did get from the character in those other movies and shows you mentioned.
That speech that he gives at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm like, this is great.
We talked about that at the time. That was like, yeah,
that's what I wanted. And this one he's just a little. I think he's a little too down on himself. Like he just doesn't believe the stuff himself, even though everybody's saying everything about it. And we're constantly it's this push pull between like he's Captain America, and then somebody be like, "You're not Steve Rogers," and the movie actually does indicate to me that he is not Steve Rogers, but he shouldn't be, but he's trying to be, and the movie wants him to be, which is a disservice to Sam Wilson because he's not Steve Rogers.
Thank you. Yeah, like that's that's what I got too, is that like not only is everyone reminding him that he's not, but like the undercurrent is that like he should be.
Right.
And that's like no,
he
shouldn't be.
Yeah. But by the end he's really not his own thing. I guess he is in a way that like Steve could never talk down the Hulk, but we've never seen him try. So it's hard to make that connection together. But I think another disservice to the whole film is that it desperately wants to be Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like so desperately. You have your Captain America, Falcon, Widow triangle.
Right.
You have you have your in the shadows villain playing with the government.
Yeah.
You have your feud that becomes a twist in some way, right? With Ross and it's just like even like by beats by the time they got to like the secret jail with Samuel Stearns, the leader, I was like, oh, okay, so this is the secret Hydra bunker. Like, we're going to the rural thing. And it's just like, none of it hits the way that it hits previously because it's following the format of Winter Soldier, but Winter Soldier is also intricately tied to Steve's story and his background. But this isn't tied to Sam; it's tied to Ross. And that's why it's like it's a better Ross movie. But Ross is not a great person,
right?
And this movie is a redemption arc for him, which I liked in its own, and it's good. Maybe because I like Harrison Ford.
Yeah, yes, I think
Harrison Ford got the redemption arc. So I don't know. It was just so. It was so blah.
It was a little, There were things about it. Okay, there were things about it that I really enjoyed. There were some. The Sebastian Stan scene was one
good.
That was good. I don't know why I was under the impression he was in more of this movie. Just completely mistaken impression on my part that he was in more of it. But I was glad to see him. That was great. I thought the whole White House sequence actually I really, really enjoyed.
I did too. I actually really liked even symbolically the destruction of the White House because like Ross is this corrupt man who is in the White House and he literally destroys the White House like quite physically, and they rebuild, like America rebuilds after that. That all really worked for me.
Yeah, same.
Actually, all the Red Hulk stuff worked for me. There really wasn't anything from the Ross side of things that I disagreed with. All of it played out just as I expected and enjoyed, and better actually.
Giancarlo Esposito is always a positive for me.
He was 100% reshoot. I think
he felt so underutilized that I can't imagine it wasn't reshoot. Like I feel like he was added to the script, bolted onto the script later.
Oh, 100. You could tell in his interactions with Sam that it was all just very. I think in some ways the movie felt like it went from Thunderbolt Ross's like campaign opening or election opening, or his like first appearance as president, to Sam training with Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like how it, even in color scheme and the way that it moves and everything, and like the action sequence felt inserted, especially in the way that like. Truthfully, especially in the way that Anthony Mackie like spoke to Giancarlo, like spoke to Sidewinder. He was like, "I'm here to stop you."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, are you? Are you here to stop him?"
Felt pretty phoned in.
It all very phoned in, and even you said a waste of Giancarlo Esposito, which I agree, but it definitely felt like Giancarlo Esposito's in this movie. Come to the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I love any moment that he's on screen. I think he's fantastic, and I've never seen him in a role I didn't enjoy him in, even if that role is tacked on to the rest of the movie. His performance, I think, was great.
He truthfully felt more dangerous to me than Samuel Stearns.
Yes, he was way more menacing, and felt like a bigger danger. Stearns, like I get, was supposed to be more of the like quiet, collected, like, you know, seemingly calm, but he's got the evil plot, and I get what they were going for there, but it wasn't as scary somehow I think just because Giancarlo Esposito can do that.
Maybe. I don't know. But, Tim Blake Nelson's a really good actor. So
he is, and I didn't feel like he really brought it in this movie, if I'm being honest.
Because everything he was in was a reshoot.
His
original design was just like a big head. He had hair and all this. So like his brain skull cap.
Yep.
So, and I think everything he was in was a reshoot, and he just didn't bring it to the reshoot the way that he might have brought it. Even if they didn't change what he said or what he did, it just all felt, it was a lot of tell. It was show and tell.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily do either of them particularly well.
Right. Yeah, it didn't do either really believably. I think maybe the acting is a big piece of it, like more than I realized the first time around. But it also just I think because I feel like not only was a lot of this stuff reshot, but it feels like it was rewritten and pieced together. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, what I clocked more. Now, as I think back on it, I'm clocking more of the performances, not sort of jiving, but really, it's the story didn't really feel like it hung together. I felt like there was Sam's story, there was Thunderbolt Ross' story, and then there were these other stories that were very much just tacked on.
Right. Because it was copying the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But then in terms of when it went into its more original story, it just, or it's more unique to this movie, instead of following Winter Soldier, none of it meshed together. Yeah. Even Joaquin Torres, Danny Ramirez's, I thought he was just as charming the last time we saw him. Mm-hmm. So whether reshoot or not, he brought it.
He was, yes, he was, exactly, like just as charming as the last time we saw him. Yeah.
Yep. But he fits weakly. I'm just going to say he fits weakly into the film. Like, he feels like he had to be there because same with Ruth. Like with like she had to be there because they needed a widow and a Falcon and a Captain America. But they really didn't know what to do with either of them. They knew more what to do with Joaquin Torres because he was pre-established from Falcon Winter Soldier, and whereas Sam's trying to be Captain America, Joaquin is trying to be the Falcon. And so whereas like the movie is like Sam is Captain America, and then Sam's like, you're not the Falcon. So you have this weird like you have this by Sam not admitting that Joaquin is the Falcon, he's holding on to the Falcon identity for himself, therefore not fully being Captain America, because because in his mind he's still the Falcon.
Right.
But the movie doesn't go there at all, call attention to it, maybe even do it on purpose. And so therefore it doesn't feel like Sam's actually accepting his role at all, even though the whole movie is about him being Captain America, because everyone treats him that way except for Ross.
When I look at what actually transpired in this movie, this was all okay. We're building towards a new Avengers, right? And that could have been that could have been Act 1 of another movie. Yep. That could have just most of what happened in this movie could have been part of a bigger story. When you really look at the obviously it was all decompressed to fill out a movie, but the actual on paper, the bullet point list of events that took place in this movie could have been Act 1 of a movie that had a bigger arc, and that was about maybe Sam stepping into a leadership role and bringing up a new crop of Avengers, getting them ready to hit the scene.
Because that was the whole thing too. I forgot about that, where Ross wants him to restart the Avengers,
right.
And that just kind of dips off too.
They just mention it at the beginning and they mention it at the end, and that's what you got. And it felt like that was the you've always got the the arc that's happening in the movie itself, right? And then you've got the like touch points to the rest of the bigger universe. Those are those and like the Eternals references and stuff were the touch points to the bigger universe, but they were very light touch and would have been better served in a bigger story with a bigger arc that could have had Sam more at the center of it and have him step into the Captain America role more intentionally, with more fervor, more believably, and open up the Falcon role as well. Like leave that mantle to be taken up by someone else while he steps up to like, he's been Captain America for a while now, but like maybe he finally is like really embracing it himself, or however you want to look at it. I just felt like there was more they could have done there. And not really a lot happened in this movie in terms of like the number of events when you look at it.
Even some stuff that you feel like there was definitely stuff that felt cut out. Like, so they had like Ruth suit up in her Blue Widow suit.
Yeah.
And that
she's wearing it.
You literally saw her walk across the there it is. Why are you even wearing it? What's the point? What are you doing? Like, you're just putting it on for the sake of putting it on? Good for you. Guess. She was there because Ross said she had to be there.
Can you imagine like an early 2000s comic book movie where someone wore a superhero costume just to wear it and then walks off camera?
Right. Like, what?
We used to go out of our way to not. We used to go out of our way to not put people in costume, like just to like because we thought it was too cheesy. And now here we are, like, all right, you guys want costumes? Here, everyone gets one.
Everyone, you get a costume. You get a costume. You get a yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of things that I did like. I want to get in here. I liked Carl Lumbly.
Carl Lumbly, absolutely.
I liked Carl Lumbly. I liked that this movie was under 2 hours.
Yes.
Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the design and execution of the Red Hulk. We've already talked about that.
Yes.
I liked the spoiler. I liked the reconciliation with Betty Ross and her actual appearance in the film.
I was gonna say I love to see Liv Tyler again. Thought that was cool that we are like fully blending the Ed Norton. That's Incredible Hulk, right? Because Ang Lee is just the Hulk. Yeah.
Someone has said to me, it's weird that it's weird that the required viewing of this movie is the Incredible Hulk, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Eternals.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
what a weird combination of influence.
Weird combination.
Yeah.
Even stuff like the adamantium stuff was just like, and we're fighting, and it's like a Cuban Missile Crisis moment.
Yeah.
And then, well, it don't matter because we got to get to this next thing.
Right. Yes.
Captain America thingamajigs.
It is like okay, but it's Act 3, so we have to do this now. Like that's very much how it feels.
It felt like, and here's your action sequence, and here's your action sequence, and here's your action sequence. But it also felt like it's like a 5-act structure, but also a 3-act structure. It's very oddly cut together. I was having a hard time.
And that's what feels sort of put together, like Franken-scripted to me. Yeah.
I know that Marvel, the Marvel style is go with an unfinished script, fix it in the edit. And sometimes that works. And this is a great example of it doesn't always work.
It didn't work here. And it makes me, I would love to have seen what did it look like before that, right? Like before a bunch of stuff was reshot or edited or rewritten. Because I do wonder, like, was it a better movie before and someone tinkered with it too much?
It was pointless. That was the unnecessary. And I still feel that way.
I was gonna say I don't know if they fixed that.
No, I don't really think so. Which is again a tragedy for some of these characters, especially for Sam Wilson, who was delightful from his first introduction all the way through, and then here it just all kind of fumbles and falls apart. I do feel, and I've said before, like we're in the era where you're just in the C and D tier Marvel characters, and I'm sorry, they're just not as interesting. They're just not like, and it's not because people just like happen to know Iron Man. Because let's face it, Guardians weren't interesting until their movie came out.
Neither was Iron Man.
Really? Yeah. I mean, he was to some, but not in the way that.
Yeah.
Not. It just. They were never the biggest ones. But now where Iron Man was a B level, and now we're in C and D's, and there's a reason they're C and D.
Yeah, and it's I feel like the bloom is off the rose a little bit with reinvigorating these B and C tier characters and making them A tier. It's not happening anymore as much, and I don't know if it's on the Marvel side where they're not bringing it as much, or if it's on the audience side where we're sort of like, it's been done now. Like you already did the magic trick once. Now I've seen it. Like,
Yep.
I don't know.
I mean, it could be. It's a whole lot of reasons, but
yeah.
I think I have nothing else further to say. So, Frank, where can the people find us?
Head over to beerwithgeeks.com. Head over to whatever podcast app you like to rate and review and subscribe to us, and head over to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio to help us keep making the show, keep the shows alive with some financial support. But yeah, rate and review us, subscribe, tell a friend, check out the website and find our other reviews of all the other Marvel movies. It's all there.
Very good. Well, Frank, always a pleasure. So until next time, cheers.
Cheers.